Hey y'all, it's Elisha and welcome back to Elisha's Crafty Hoplop. Happy Sunday y'all. Happy Sunday. Y'all know this is my favorite day of the week. It is the day where I do all my planning and I also tend to clean all my craft tools, and that's a good thing y'all. So you saw yesterday I showed you the Hey Pumpkin paper pad, and you all know that when I was overseas I used every last Halloween supply I had. So I was starting fresh. And then Carmen, my friend Carmen Goris, who you all know is on Instagram. Hey Carmen, she very kindly accepted a paper order for me while I was in the Holy Land, which I'd completely forgotten about. So when I was reorganizing my paper pads over the last 10 days, that's when I remembered that she had held a paper pad for me. And that's when I found the Hey Pumpkin. I had totally forgotten that I had that paper pad. So that's why I bought the AC Digitals that I talked to you about last night. The reason that that was a good purchase for me was that I can just keep reprinting the ephemera. I mean, I've got a whole 12 by 12 to work through for Halloween. But I was a really nice surprise to find that paper pad, because if I hadn't found it, I think I would have just been printing a whole bunch of digitals. So now I have a mix to work with, which is really nice. But that's why my Sundays are so important. Y'all, I forgot I had that paper pad. Totally forgot. Normally when I have holiday supplies, like all my Christmas supplies are in a box marked Christmas. But because I had no Halloween left, there was no Halloween box, right? I just tucked it in with my other crate paper and totally forgot about it. So when I was doing the reorg and going through all my crate paper to see how much I had of everything left, that's when I found the paper pad. So Heather's thing about organization doesn't just extend to organizing our swaps or our content, or organizing collabs we're participating in, or projects or people's challenges. It also extends to our supplies, and that's normally what I use Sundays for. Y'all know I go and I clean my paper cutter, my die cutter. This week it doesn't need to be cleaned very much because, as y'all know, I haven't been able to die cut. Tomorrow I can die cut again. Yay, I'm so excited. But normally I have to clean my whole die cutter. I wash the plates, I clean all my scissors, I clean my pokey tools, I clean everything. Just so that it's fresh for the week. And I also plan my week and content for the channel and things like that. But I realized lately I've been watching some videos. People plan the content for their channel a month in advance. I don't. So I've been thinking about it. You know, is that useful or is it not useful? And I'm undecided still, because I feel like often I respond to things that you say or questions that you ask. So for instance, I posted that video yesterday, and many of you loved the vintage digitals I showed. So I'm going to tell you those came from a place called My Porch Prints. Now, My Porch Prints is more expensive. I'm going to tell you that. Other digitals are much less expensive. I want to do a FYI up front. My Porch Prints are more money. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Their details are incredible. When I print with My Porch Prints, every detail is crisp and clean. She leaves the files open, so as you know, I have adjusted color before. For me, that matters. You know, when I did the sequin swap with Donna and Judy, I didn't want the traditional orange colors because I know Donna happens to be a shabby crafter, and I wanted to make mine pink and purple. So because My Porch Prints leaves the files open in such a way, I could alter the color. For me, I feel like she's worth the extra money, and you all know I'm frugal. So if you can buy digitals for $1, which I've done, or you can pay $4 on My Porch Prints, and I'm telling you that I'm always ordering from My Porch Prints, that should say something. That's because the quality of her digitals are superb, just superb. Every image comes out crisp and clean, and like it's just wonderfully done. She knows how to set up a digital file. I will warn you that some of the people on Etsy who are doing this are artists just like you and I, and they don't know how to set up a digital file. So when I go to print, so I bought a digital of Alice, for instance. It was not bad. It was $1 purchase, so I don't feel like I lost anything. It's like less expensive than a coffee or a soda, right? But when I went to resize certain things, I had trouble because she didn't know how to set the file. She's clearly an artist who drew this image and didn't know how to digitally set up a file. Having worked in advertising, I knew a workaround, and I knew how to fix it. But probably most of you wouldn't. And so if you'd bought it, you would have been frustrated because you could only print it as is. And then that makes a digital kind of useless. So you do need to make sure that whoever you're buying from knows how to set up a digital file. My Porch Prints does an excellent job. Not only is her stuff very beautiful, and so many of you wrote and said, Elisha, where did you get those? Elisha, where did you get those? My Porch Prints. Now they are more. You're going to pay $4, but it's worth every penny. I have not been regretful about one thing I have bought from her. Not one thing. Everything prints beautifully. The other question you all asked is, where did you get your Pasteloween? So I'm going to put a link to both my Porch Prints and the artist I bought my Pasteloweens from. Now the Pasteloweens the files aren't as well set up, but they're okay. So it means you can adjust things. They're not as professionally set up as my Porch Prints, but they're good. They're good enough. So you won't find them difficult to work with. So I'll list both of those down below. You know, there are other suppliers who are also fantastic on Etsy. Again, I encourage you to go and take a look through and see what appeals to your aesthetic. I did buy some other Halloween digitals that I didn't show you. I think that the artwork is really creative, but the person, again, does not know how to set up a digital file. So it was so much work. It was so much work for me to reset everything that I won't recommend her to you because it'll be so frustrating for you. I think she's a really creative person, and I think her digitals are really unique, and I love her art, but I think she doesn't know how to set up digital files. So that's what you have to watch out for. And Dina and I have chatted about this. Hey, Dina, back and forth. You really do, when you're buying digitals, here's what I'm going to recommend. Take a look at how many sales they've had and what the reviews say. You'll take a look at my Porch Prints, you'll see she has sold thousands of her digitals, and almost always the comments are positive. Almost like 99% of the time they're positive. And I think the 1%, they don't know how to print a digital file because hers are the easiest to use and they're the best quality. If you take a look at someone whose reviews are mixed, that tells you that the file might be complicated to work with, and if you don't have knowledge, you won't be able to resize. And that's a bit of a warning to you. You will find that the ones that are $1 tend to be the ones where they don't really know how to set up a digital file. The reason my Porch Prints charges $4 instead of $1 is because she's done all the hard work for you. She's made printing digitals super easy. And the ones for, $1 haven't put in the same investment. So unless you're like me and you're trained to reset up vector files and things like that, you won't know how to adjust everything. So you got to kind of play around, read the reviews, check everything out. That's my word of warning to you. Dina had a few misbuys. Again, if you know what you're doing and you have the software on your computer, you can fix it. But if you don't have that software, it's going to be tough to fix files that aren't set up properly. My Porch Prints is a guaranteed good buy every single time. And again, you don't need any software. You could go to the library and print her digitals. She has made it so seamlessly simple, y'all. So y'all were like, where did those gorgeous, shabby, vintage ephemera came from? My Porch Prints, y'all. And she has so many great printables. You guys will love her. So I will link that and the Pasteloween artist that I purchased down below. And I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad that was a useful video. I was very unsure about how to explain it to you, other than to say that for me, it wasn't about cost. And you all know that usually matters. For me, it was about being able to resize and control my product. And I'm really glad I've entered the world of digitals. That is thanks to Donna Dreams ×3, really. Donna's the one who convinced me, and I really appreciate it. She and Jellybean have been very supportive of my plunge into the digital ocean. Again, I'm going to say, Leanna, It's a Deal said, I wish I liked fussy cutting more. You know what, y'all? If you have been here with me from the beginning, I couldn't even fussy cut when I first started because I was using the wrong scissors. And then when I got the right scissors, I still didn't like it much because y'all know my hand hurts when I do it, right? Talk about needing to plan. I have to plan for when I fussy cut because of my pain issues. But you know what? For me, it's worth it. It's worth it because I love being able to make them mini and I love being able to make big. So for me, I just have to plan for it in my week. That's all. But I feel your pain, Leanna. I know. If you don't have a brother scan and cut, it's a lot of fussy cutting. But if you took a look at Rare Rue's video today, she did it while chatting with her family outdoors. So, I mean, there are ways to do it, y'all. Do it while you're watching a movie with your family. Do it while you're sitting outside enjoying time together. You can fit in fussy cutting if you plan for it. You really can. All right, let me show you because y'all know I haven't been able to die cut. And so you're probably like, what the heck is she working on? Well, I've been doing some Flatmail folders. That's what I've been doing, y'all. So, and these took a long time. That was perfect for me to do while I couldn't die cut. Because not only do I print these out digitally, I hand color them, I stickle them, I glossy accent them, I shade them, then I fussy cut them out. And these ones with the hair, oh my goodness, talk about difficult fussy cutting. Look at all the wisps of hair. Put all my fussy cutting skills to challenge. And this is a stamp in it. This one says, "You crafty little minx." I love that stamp. I have a few really cute sentiment stamps, and I really like this one. So I decided to make some of these folders for Flatmail, like really simple little folders. Now, you know I normally like to thick things up. So you're going to be surprised I made these because they're not thicked up. They're just a single sheet folded in the way a la Toni Craftpurge. I'll put Toni's tutorial down below. I didn't follow her tutorial, I have to be honest. I just did these. But I did watch her tutorial weeks ago. And so for those of you wanting to know how to make these, I'll link Toni's tutorial because I think it's super simple, easy, and you know, once you see it, you kind of get it. I chose not to round my corners. That's because my chomper's not working well, y'all. I'm going to tell you something. I told Misty, I don't like my chomper. It's making me crazy because sometimes it works and sometimes it ruins a project. So can you imagine doing all this work and then ruining the project? Yeah. So I'm not rounding my corners right now because of that. I love this one. I did make a special, another one when I did this one. I did several because I'm doing something for Kayla. Crafty Pen Pal Mama. We're doing a swap. And I turned hers into a tag, a shape tag, and it's super cool. So this is so these took a long time because they're all hand colored. They're digitals that I cut out. I hand colored, I hand stickled, I glossy accented. I did all different ones in all different patterns, all different shapes, all different styles of paper, all different. I love this one. All different. I really do. This is using the Prima Mosaic. Oh, and I so prefer to use Prima paper because I'm not thickening it up because of postal costs. I love, this is that Prima Mosaic. Now, I'll tell you what I did learn that's something interesting. Okay, when I first started doing them, I sealed both sides, but then I made that pocket really small. On the last ones, I didn't seal the last side so I could tuck more in. That's a little crafty tip for you. I found that if I wanted to get more in, I shouldn't seal both sides. So that I left one side completely open so that I could tuck more goodies inside. Yeah, so basically why I made these is I want to send out some racks, but postage costs have been really high for me this month. I'm already for this month over my postal budget. So because of that, I had to figure out a less expensive way to send out some more mail. And so I had to suck it up and not thick these up. I had to just unfortunately send them not thicked up, which is against my belief system. But I need to save money on postage, y'all. So the only way to do that was to do them single thick. So, but these digitals were super fun. They took a long time to color and cut, but they were super fun. This is an example of why I didn't seal both sides. See how small that pocket is? So if you only seal one side, like I did on this one, you'll get more in. Let me show you again. Leave one side open so you get more stuff in. Yeah, so even though I couldn't die cut, that doesn't mean that I'm not making. It just means that I'm using my time wisely. These take so long to make, y'all. They really do for me because of my hands. That all the hand coloring, hand shading, cutting, fussy cutting, it takes a long time. So this was a good use of my time. I also will come on and do Wandy Sweets' birthday entry because I did finish that too. And last but certainly not least, I'm sure you all saw Lizzie's video. Marcie is doing much better. That is cause for celebration. However, her daughter Chloe has contracted COVID, and that's heartbreaking. So poor Michael. I mean, if anyone needs a card of encouragement, it's Michael, y'all. Seriously. I know that Lizzie asked us to make cards for Chloe. I'm going to tell you all this. Michael needs a card of encouragement, and I'm going to tell you why. He's just nursing Marcie back to health, and now their child is sick, and Marcie's not well enough to care for her. So talk about those vows being tested for better and for worse. Now, not only does he have to worry about caring for Marcie, but he has to also care for Chloe. This is incredible. So I know Lizzie's asking everyone to make a card for Chloe. I'm almost finished mine. But I'm also going to ask that we make one for Michael. Because he needs it, y'all. This poor man. He's got his hands full, and I'm sure he doesn't mind. But it wouldn't hurt to get a card saying, good for you. Good for you. And we're all very grateful to you for caring for Marcie and for Chloe. So I'm going to put Marcie's address down below and Michael's address down below. Those of you that make cards, please get a card of encouragement off to Michael and a get well card off to Chloe if you can. We'd really appreciate it. Just as Marcie was getting better, now we have to worry about Chloe. All right, y'all. I am going to be back on later today because I do have Wandy's entry to share with you, and I have some mail. Wishing for you a happy, a healthy, and a crafty Sunday. I don't know what you're doing, but whatever it is, I hope it gives you lots of joy. Bye for now.